and internationally comparable statistics. The Uganda Harmonized Integrated Survey Series is one of the most important statistical instruments in our country because it provides annual data on poverty, agriculture, employment, household welfare, access to financial services, education, labor participation, and other key social economic indicators. And I think this is the first one. We must thank you for that. So these reports, therefore, provide an important evidence base for monitoring Uganda's development agenda, including the implementation of our fourth National Development Plan, Program Development Plans, and the sustainable, the international agenda where you have the Sustainable Development Goals and the African, we want the Agenda 2063. So ladies and gentlemen, one of the key findings from the reports is that 66.9% of the households are now participating in the money economy, while 33.1% remain in a subsistence production. This is a very important policy message. It demonstrates that Uganda is making progress in socio-economic transformation. But it also reminds us that 1 out of every 3 households still require deliberate support to transition into productive commercial activity and sustainable income generation. 1 out of the 3 households. So the findings, therefore, reinforce the relevance of government programs such as 1, the parish development model, Operation Wealth Creation, Emyoga, youth skilling initiatives, women enterprise programs, and agricultural value addition interventions, among others. The data helps government and stakeholders to better understand the following. 1, who remains vulnerable? 2, where are they located? What economic constraints do they face? Their access to education and financial services, and what targeted interventions are required. This is very, very important. So, distinguished guests and viewers, the survey findings on financial inclusion are equally important, and according to the recent national statistics, Uganda now has over 45 million active mobile phone subscriptions and approximately 35 million mobile money subscribers. This demonstrates the growing expansion of digital connectivity and financial inclusion across the country. Access to affordable credit remains a key enabler of business growth, enterprise development, and household resilience. With the rapid growth of mobile money and digital financial systems, Uganda has an opportunity to further expand financial inclusion and increase the bankable population. This will contribute significantly towards improving businesses' efficiency, increasing domestic revenue mobilization, reducing transaction risks, and strengthening economic productivity. So, ladies and gentlemen, the survey also highlights important issues regarding education, employment, and labor productivity. Uganda continues to have one of the youngest populations in the world. And according to the recent National Population and Housing Census, approximately 73% of our Uganda's population is below the age of 30 years. This youthful population presents both opportunities and challenges. If adequately skilled and productively engaged, our younger people can become a major driver of economic transformation and innovation. So government has already invested heavily in universal primary education, universal secondary education, technical and vocational education, and training, and other skilling programs. However, we must continue reducing school dropout rates and strengthen the transition from education into productive employment and entrepreneurship. Distinguished viewers and ladies and gentlemen, the Uganda Harmonized Integrated Survey is also extremely important for tracking Uganda's progress on the Sustainable Development Goals. For example, the reports provide critical indicators for monitoring Sustainable Development Goal number 1 of ending poverty. We have the data now. The second one is on goal number 2 on food security and agriculture. And the third one is on goal number 4 on quality of education. And the fourth one is on goal number 5 on gender equality. Then we have goal number 8 on decent work and economic growth. And the data also provides data for SDG number 9 on industry and innovation. And also goal number 10 on reducing inequalities. Meaning that we have expanded our base, and as we know, out of 232 SDG indicators monitored globally, Uganda indicators which are eligible is 201. And out of that now, we have been measuring 149, so which means the database has expanded now. We must do more than 160 for something of the nature. So I thank again the Bureau leadership and the you technical people for doing that. So which means it puts us also number 1 in the region. As you may be aware, Uganda has already localized the SDGs and recently launched the third SDG roadmap, 25, 26, 29, 30. Therefore, quality, timely statistics remain central in monitoring progress and ensuring that no one is left behind. I therefore call upon the ministries, departments, and agencies, local governments, development partners, researchers, academia, civil society, the private sector, and the media to actively utilize these reports in planning, budgeting, implementation, and monitoring of development programs. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me once again to congratulate the Executive Director, Management, and staff of the Bureau for successfully producing and disseminating these important reports in line with the Bureau's release calendar. There is a calendar which you have followed, and please keep it up, and we thank you very much for that. So Ubos has once again fulfilled its mandate of providing the nation with credible evidence. The responsibility now lies with all of us to utilize this information effectively in making decisions that improve the welfare of our people. So together, let us continue building a resilient, inclusive, and prosperous Uganda where no one is left behind. I think it is now my distinguished honor to officially launch the Uganda Harmonized Integrated Survey reports for 2021-22, 22-23, and 24-25 for public use. Thank you very much.
A big hand clap to our chief guest for those very wonderful remarks. Thank you so much, chief guest.
Thank you, Chairman. You have given us strength to continue working even harder, and we promise we shall not let you down. The next is for you, sir, to launch the report. We have the dame here, so we shall invite you and the senior management here to join you, and you launch the report. Thank you. After that, we shall have a few quick questions from panel members. We have already received some online that we shall read out and respond to them. And many more should come. We shall also allow, I don't know whether you have a mechanism to allow those who are online to make a comment, but that's after we have launched the report, because I'm sure you may find some of the television are closing. But I know we shall remain with UBC.
We shall remain with UBC.
So those who are watching should be switching to Uganda Broadcasting Corporation TV.
Thank you, ED, for that guidance. So now we move to the launch of the report, and the chief guest is going to unveil the Uganda Harmonized Integrated Survey. Can we give a big hand clap as the ED and the chief guest unveil this report to the whole public for the first time again? Thank you so much. So now we proceed to the signing, and the chief guest is going to sign first. A big hand clap as the chief guest signs that report. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. We shall then proceed to have the chief statistician, the executive director, also append his signature. Can we clap for ED members? Thank you, Doctor. Shall have then the deputy ED also sign. There are so many markers. They're all markers there. Thank you. Director, Population and Social Statistics, please join. In the interest of time, you can sign together. Mr. Barahira, the harmonization is happening now. Harmonization, the two different directorates are working together and having this one report. Like the ED said, and one of the presenters said, that data without innovation may not communicate well. So these are all innovations that have been generated into StatsCo production. Thank you, team. The presenters can also integrate and sign. So we are going to have a group photo, and after that we are going to have you members of the media ask all your questions here. The chief guest and the executive director with all his team, they are going to remain here. We shall request that for those who may feel like moving out, you move in silence, because we need good media coverage. So we shall not expect much noise. So I request the team to move this dummy aside so that we can have an official group photo. Yes. So let's have this group photo, members of management with the chief guest and the ED. Those are members of EXCOM, the technical presenters, the chief guest, the executive director. I want to assume that the lenses of these cameras can cover this wide spectrum, and just not, if it is not the case, then other people can go behind. Okay. But it doesn't look so balanced. Behind the session are only 2 people. Can we have some more numbers behind so that we balance this photo very well? Roland, you could go up. Yeah, that now looks much better. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So like we have said, we are still live on UBC TV. We are live on TV West. We are live on BBS TV and NTV, NBS. We are streaming live on YouTube channel. And like Ed already said, there are several people who have been online and they have put up their comments, which the team are going to respond to. Ed is going to respond to some. And we shall then have the media come here and do one-on-one interviews. Thank you so much. So Ed, back to you, sir.
How are the characteristics of these groups? Panel and those who dropped out. How are their characteristics? Throughout the presentation, there was no mention of the weights. Did we reweight the panel to maintain representativeness? So that's the first question. Can you answer that?
Thank you, Ed. The question refers to the when you say it is a panel, it means we are following the same people over time, and over time you find that some people drop out of the panel household. And in terms of dealing with the panel weight, you use what we call fair share and attrition testing. Before you present the panel findings, you test to see whether the household which remain in the panel are still representative of the population in the beginning of the panel. So that ED was done, and after finding out that the findings in the detailed report, it is there. The detailed report is there how the weighting were done to take care of the attrition rate. 2, we also checked whether the variables statistically differ over a period of time by what we call in statistics testing the significance of the findings. And we have tested that these statistics are statistically what? Significant. In statistical term, it means the reported change is a real change because of the good thing with the panel members, since we are following the same household, the change is affecting the household and household members in real time. So that's why panel is important compared to the other surveys. So the weighting is done based on the panel weights. 2, the attrition is catered for in revising the panel weight. Because remember, in the beginning we had a cross section. In the second year, it becomes a panel. In the third year, it becomes a panel. Meaning that you must cater for attrition rate between all these surveys.
The answer is that we weighted the panel. And of course, you are right, we maintain the representativeness. That's why we came up with the nationally representative dynamics. And on poverty dynamics, she's asking, is this based on national poverty line? Yes. But we can also do based on international poverty line and see how. But since these are changes, I don't expect any radical departure. These are just trends and changes, dynamics. Now, again, my lecturer, Sarah, is asking, the education systems are interesting. There were such a big change over a period of 4 years. How do these figures compare to recent census? Let's wait on Thursday and see the comparison. I don't want to put the cat out of the bag. So we are going to see whether the census validates these panel findings. And that's the beauty of what we call having a lot of data set to check whether there is either internal consistency or because census is a bigger population other than the sample, we shall see whether it agrees with us. I think the question of representativeness, again, you have answered it. Ggwanga Fred has said, good presentation. However, poverty assessment could have included regions. That one, we have done it in the report. The PowerPoint wouldn't present everything in the report at a go. And even what is not in the report, we can analyze further because the data set is huge. The report is also such, it has a limit, but all of these you are free to engage us and we shall provide them since we produce data-driven statistics. Professor Ben Chirejera, I know you want also to say something. Are you still online so that we give you a chance before we read what you have written? Is Professor still online? Professor Ben? Anyway, as he confirms, let me read his own. is off. Let me read what he wrote. Great work. Professor Ben Chirejera is the first board member of the Bureau, chairman of the board, and is one of the figures that led to the creation of Uganda Bureau of Statistics. So he continues monitoring our performance. Now he's saying this is a great work. He's happy to listen in. He had said you have some comments. He has asked whether you should type. I think he typed now. He's saying thank you, Ubos, for data innovation which are evident in the report. Finally, findings are given as percentages. This do not make much sense to many users. It would have been great to give actual numbers, not percentages. The weighted numbers. Maybe, but because these are the dynamics can only be shown in where you have been and how you have changed. But the numbers we have, because the percentages are coming from the numbers. It is just the nature of presenting a panel data sets compared to the cross-sectional. But we have the numbers. And our chairman says we are going to present the new government these numbers because we have a lot of data and statistics we have disseminated so that they can use them in their planning and policy formulation, and especially reporting the SDGs. So he's talking of still of the numbers. Wants to know how many people are poor compared to them. We shall produce those numbers. Then the last question is asking who funded the survey, government or donors? This survey was 100% funded by government of Uganda. And that's why the chairman recognized the government for its steadfast support, both financial and also I want also to add the statistical and professional independence we have. We want to thank the government, especially HE, the president, and the Minister of Finance, who have allowed us to do our thing without any interference. And this is what a model National School Office should look like. Initially, we had collaboration with the World Bank and World Food Program because harmonizing was new. Yeah, FAO, Food and Agriculture Organization, when we are trying to integrate the technical work in the first phase. So we recognize them and the report recognizes them. FAO provided initial funding for the household side, but that was in 2021-22. Later on, government funded for the other two waves. And we also have funds to start a new wave of 2026-27. So we are going to generate more longitudinal data. As per regional picture, we are I think we are the only ones who are producing these panels. The harmonized integrated survey data. I will find out whether other countries have published. There is an innovation, but they are still now. So we are leaders. And we shall also help our regional partners to ensure to produce these statistics for harmonization. Dr. Waswa Francis of UNDP, he says all indicators seem to be performing well, but recent MPI figure based on the 2024 census shows increase in multidimensional poverty. What could be the problem? You remember those who are here when we discussed the dimension of poverty, we said this was a baseline. We cannot compare the estimates from a population census with a sample. So we are taking the 2024 multidimensional poverty index as a baseline, and we are still refusing to be drawn into comparing the area MPI derived from surveys. But in the next UNHS, because now we are going to base on the frame of population census 2024, we shall be able to check the movements and the performance in MPI. And I want to inform the public that we are starting in June the data correction, preparations and correction of Uganda National House of Survey for 26-27. After that, we shall produce the MPI that can be compared with the multidimensional poverty index we generated from the census data. I think those are all that I have. And Dr. Francis Waswa, you are welcome to continue working with us. I know we are missing you. Come back. You know, there is some innovation he's doing with my IT people and the data science group, which will also enhance the data quantity and quality, so that we can have more statistical information. I think that's all I had. Is there any other data cards? Francis Okongo, is this professor? The doctor, I don't know. He's asking, what plan does Ubos have in accurately estimating cancer burden in Uganda in terms of national cancer incidences, prevalence and mortality, given that many cancer patients don't come to Uganda Cancer Institute and the DHIS2 aggregate report is complete? The UJ survey assesses for cancer screening and subject to recall bias. So that's a challenge it's giving us. We are going to engage you. I think you are in Cancer Institute, and see how we can capture this information going forward. So we expect you to come and we discuss how we can do this specific survey. It may not be possible to include it in the UDHS because the subject in UDHS is largely on women questionnaire. So I think we are done. The next is turned over to Didakas.
Thank you so much, Edie. I'm going to invite the members of the press to come here close so that you can ask your question. When we leave here, we shall be going for lunch, and that will mark the end of today's session. So for the members of the media who have questions, please, you can come here with your cameras and ask. Let's do it very fast. Can you please come?
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. My name is Ramson Mhiwe. I work with NBS TV. I have two questions. The findings indicated that 14% dropped from being rich people to being poor, into poverty. 14%. 8 in about 2024-25 and 6 in about 23 and 24. That's what the figures show. Dropped into poverty in 24-25 and 6 in 23-24. Dropped into poverty. That's 14. It's about 14.45, something like that. So, what explains people turning from rich into being poor? What is the problem? What befell their riches? 2, the findings also indicated that more Ugandans are borrowing from the bank, taking credits from the bank, are reducing over the same period, over the period of time from 22, 23 up to 25. Why are they no longer borrowing in the banks? But also, where are they borrowing from now?
okukola dduyiro tekisobola kuba kya lubeerera. Okulya tekwewalika. Kikukaluubiriza okusala omugejjo. Jangu ogezeeko ne Gen Shikang L-carnitine chromium capsules ezikolebwa mu bimera wakati mu kunoonyereza kw'ekikugu. Kozesa capsules 3 zokka buli lunaku. Ebirungo ebirimu by'amaanyi nnyo mu kusala amasavu mu mubiri gwo. Naye lya emirundi 2 buli lunaku. Omubiri togukuluusanya. Okusala omugejjo kutandikirawo kati. Gen Shikang L-carnitine chromium capsules zikuyambako okusigaza omubiri ogweyagaza. Okumanya ebisingawo